Good.
That reaction says everything you need to know about this game. When a commentator can barely contain their shock at what they're watching, you know something historic just happened. The New York Liberty didn't just beat the Connecticut Sun on May 15, 2024. They obliterated them. And what makes this performance even more remarkable? They weren't even at full strength.
Johannes is ridiculous, man.
Look at that defense, completely lost. No communication, no rotations, no answers whatsoever. The Sun came into this game as one of the league's top defensive teams, averaging just 78 points allowed per game. By halftime, the Liberty had already dropped 58 on them. That's not a defensive breakdown. That's a complete system failure. And here's what makes Connecticut's collapse so devastating. This wasn't against a fully loaded Liberty squad. Sabrina Ionescu, their star point guard and primary facilitator, wasn't even playing. When your opponent is missing their best player and still runs you out of the gym by halftime, that's not about talent. That's about effort, preparation, and coaching.
Was hitting.
Brianna Stewart put on an absolute clinic. 31 points on efficient shooting, and watch how she's getting those buckets. Catch and shoot threes, step backs from the elbow, post moves with either hand, transition finishes in traffic. Connecticut had no answer for any of it. But Stewart's dominance wasn't happening in isolation. The Liberty's offensive system was humming at a level we rarely see in the WNBA. Ball movement was crisp, spacing was perfect. Every player knew exactly where to be and when. This is what happens when a talented roster buys into a system completely. Lainey Hamilton, playing significant minutes off the bench, looked like she'd been in this system for years. Mid-range jumpers falling, smart cuts to the basket, defensive rotations on point. That's the sign of excellent coaching and player development.
But yeah, Neekins looks so polished, man. Bad, crazy game by them.
Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Remember that name because what she did to the Suns' interior defense was surgical. Watch that footwork, the patience in the post, the soft touch around the rim. She's not overpowering anyone. She's just making the right read every single time. And here's the crazy part. Nelson-Ododa wasn't even a starter for most of the season. She was coming off the bench, playing 15-20 minutes per game. But in this matchup, she looked like an all-star. That's depth, that's what separates championship contenders from pretenders. Connecticut's defensive scheme was designed to take away the three-point line and force the Liberty into contested mid-range shots. Solid strategy in theory. But when your opponent has 5 players on the court who can all make that mid-range shot consistently, your entire defensive philosophy collapses. The Sun kept sagging off shooters, and the Liberty kept making them pay.
Hey, Haley looked good too in this game. Shout out.
Haley Van Lith, a hardship contract signing, brought in because of injuries and roster complications. And she played like she belonged on an all-WNBA team. 6 assists, smart passes in transition. Reading defenses like a 10-year veteran. 0 hesitation in her game. This is what's so impressive about the Liberty's organizational culture. They can plug in a player on a temporary contract, and within days, she's executing their system at a high level. That doesn't happen by accident. That's coaching. That's player development. That's veteran leadership holding everyone accountable. Watch how Van Lith operates in the pick and roll. She's not forcing anything. Reading the defense, making the right pass, getting teammates easy looks. When your hardship signing is running your offense this smoothly, you've built something special. And the Sun? They had no adjustments. Same defensive scheme, same rotations, same results. Down 28 points in the second quarter, and their coaching staff looked completely out of answers.
My goodness.
Okay. As well too.
Brittany Griner. Going to work. Hey, John Quell had no answer, dog. Just get big. She had no answer. Oh my goodness. Rivers.
Brittany Griner showed up in this game too, but even she couldn't stem the bleeding for Connecticut. Watch her trying to anchor the defense, contesting shots, protecting the rim, doing everything a defensive anchor should do. But when your perimeter defenders are getting torched on every possession, even the best rim protector in the league can't save you. The Liberty scored 106 points in this game, 106, against a team that prided itself on defensive intensity and discipline. That's not just good offense. That's a complete systematic destruction of everything Connecticut tried to do defensively. And the margin of victory, 31 points. The final score was 106-75. That's the kind of beatdown that raises serious questions about Connecticut's roster construction, coaching adjustments, and mental toughness. Because this wasn't a close game that got away in the fourth quarter. This was over before halftime. The Liberty's ball movement in this game was elite level. 28 assists on 39 made field goals. That's 72% of their made baskets coming off assists. That's Golden State Warriors level ball movement. That's Spurs dynasty basketball translated to the WNBA.
The Liberty in the first half was doing a nice job of limiting them.
Brittany Griner once again knocking it down. My goodness. Can anybody stop Griner? I really like how Van Loo looked in this game, man. To be a hardship contract, I really like.
Look at that defensive pressure, full court press, trapping in the backcourt, forcing turnovers and turning them into easy transition buckets. The Liberty weren't just beating Connecticut in the half court, they were suffocating them everywhere on the floor. Connecticut's guards couldn't handle the pressure, bad passes, travels, 10-second violations. This is what happens when a team loses its composure completely. The Sun looked like they wanted the game to end. No fight, no adjustments. Just going through the motions and hoping the clock would run out faster. And the Liberty? They kept their foot on the gas pedal. No mercy, no letting up. That's championship mentality. When you have an opponent down, you don't let them back up. You finish them.
Oh man, that girl is on fire. Haley, look at Haley. Knocking it down out there, man. Rihanna to the corner. Man, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say, man. Johannes is ridiculous. My goodness. Haley with another one. Like I said, Haley was looking good. Neekins, look at this, man. That's a pro move right there. Neekins, that's a pro. Man, we had 2 sets of pretzels in this game. What you want, the cinnamon or the mustard? What you want on that pretzel? Oh my goodness. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. Get her a map, man. That girl was lost out there. She loves playing in New York. Man, Lou crossing people, Laney crossing people. This is crazy work. Oh my goodness.
The ball on the floor and when a tough
he kicked in 106 to 75. Shout out to Liberty.
Here's what this game revealed about both teams. For the Liberty, it confirmed what many analysts suspected all season. When this roster is healthy and clicking, they're the most talented team in the WNBA. The depth is ridiculous. The offensive system is sophisticated. The defensive versatility allows them to switch everything and pressure full court. And most importantly, the culture is championship caliber. Breanna Stewart isn't just a scorer, she's a leader who sets the tone with her effort and intensity. When your best player is also your hardest worker, that filters down through the entire roster. Role players like Nelson Ododa and Hamilton aren't trying to do too much. They're playing within the system, trusting their teammates, and making winning plays. The coaching staff deserves enormous credit too. The offensive sets were creative and diverse. High pick and rolls, pin downs for shooters, back cuts against overplaying defenders, horn sets that created mismatches. This wasn't just talent overwhelming an opponent. This was a well-coached team executing a game plan to perfection. But let's talk about Connecticut, because this loss exposed some serious problems. First, the lack of perimeter defense was alarming. The Suns' guards couldn't stay in front of anyone. Every screen action led to an open shot or a drive to the basket. That's either a talent issue or an effort issue, and neither answer is encouraging. Second, the offensive stagnation was concerning. Connecticut scored just 75 points against a Liberty team missing Sabrina Ionescu, one of their best perimeter defenders. That's unacceptable. The Suns' offense looked predictable and easy to defend. No ball movement, too much one-on-one play, no off-ball cutting or screening to create advantages. Third, and this might be the most troubling issue, the body language was terrible. When you're down 30 points in the third quarter and your players look defeated, that's a culture problem. Championship teams fight until the final buzzer, regardless of the score. The Sun quit. You could see it in their effort level, their communication, their willingness to dive for loose balls. Brittany Griner tried to rally them, but one player can't overcome a collective lack of fight. The veterans on Connecticut's roster needed to step up and demand better effort from their teammates. That didn't happen. They just accepted the beating and waited for it to end. Now, some context is important here. Every team has bad games. Every team gets blown out occasionally. The 2016 Warriors lost to the Lakers by 20 points during their 73-win season. It happens. But the manner of this loss matters. The Liberty weren't hitting miracle shots. They weren't getting lucky bounces. They were just better in every single facet of the game. Connecticut's coaching staff has to take responsibility too. When your defensive scheme isn't working after one quarter, you adjust. You try different coverages. You switch personnel. You call timeouts and challenge your players. None of that happened. The Sun kept running the same defense, getting the same results, and hoping something would magically change. The offensive game plan was equally puzzling. Why weren't they attacking the Liberty's backup bigs in the pick and roll? Why weren't they pushing the pace to create transition opportunities? Why weren't they running more off-ball actions to free up their shooters? The Sun played right into New York's hands by slowing the game down and playing half-court basketball against a superior half-court defense. Looking ahead, this game has major implications for playoff seeding and momentum. The Liberty proved they can dominate elite competition even without their full roster. That's terrifying for the rest of the league. When Ionesco returns and this team is at full strength, they might be unstoppable. For Connecticut, this is a wake-up call. The Sun have talent, they have veteran leadership, they have a proven coaching staff. But talent alone doesn't win championships. Effort, execution, and mental toughness matter just as much. And in this game, Connecticut showed none of those qualities. The question for the Sun is whether this was an aberration or a sign of deeper problems. Can they bounce back from a 31-point blowout and recapture their defensive identity? Can their offense evolve beyond isolation-heavy possessions? Can their veterans provide the leadership necessary to compete with elite teams in playoff atmospheres? Those answers will determine whether Connecticut is a legitimate championship contender or just another good team that falls short when it matters most. Because in the WNBA playoffs, you're going to face teams like the Liberty. Teams with depth, talent, coaching, and championship culture. And if you can't match their intensity and execution, you're going home early. So what did we learn from this game? The Liberty are the real deal. Their offensive system is elite. Their depth is championship caliber. Their culture is built for sustained success. And even without Sabrina Ionescu, they can destroy quality opponents. Connecticut, meanwhile, has serious questions to answer about their defense, about their offense, about their mental toughness, about whether they have what it takes to compete with the league's best when the stakes are highest. A 31-point loss doesn't define a season, but it reveals truths that can't be ignored. The WNBA playoffs are brutal. Every possession matters. Every defensive breakdown gets punished. Every offensive stagnation leads to runs. The teams that survive are the ones that can execute under pressure, adjust on the fly, and maintain their composure when things get difficult. Based on this performance, the Liberty have those qualities. Connecticut doesn't. Not yet anyway. So here's my question for you. Can the Sun recover from this embarrassment and become a legitimate threat in the playoffs? Or did this game expose fundamental flaws that will prevent them from competing for a championship? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know if you think Connecticut can turn this around, or if the Liberty just proved they're on a completely different level.